Hey gang, happy to see you found us here at CJAWS, Canadian Jail War Stories, and for all my returning subscribers, you already know, you guys are the backbone of the channel and I wouldn't be existing without y'all. So, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are y'all waiting for, man? Come on, join the fam, alright? If you like to watch, but you're not subbed, and you haven't shared or liked, what, do you hate me or something, man? Come on, join the family, and help this channel grow. And we'll see you in the next episode, if you subscribe and come back. If not, let's get straight into this. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Keys back here again for another episode of Canadian Jail War Stories, CJAWS for short. Alright, so we're going to get into another episode today talking about programming and what I did during my days in different facilities. So today's episode is going to be about the Don Jail specifically, a lot different than Maplehurst, you guys, so buckle up, get some drinks and some stuff like that, and we'll get right into it. Alright, well, the Don Jail was haunted for one. My father did time in there. A lot of different family members have been in there. It's a famous, really famous place. Probably a lot more harder than a lot of the places that I've talked about so far. Basically, I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, when you first go to the Don Jail, obviously it's not going to be like this. You got to work your way up and stuff like that. When you first get there, they want to try to put you into cell 18, and there's like a whole hierarchy system because the guards don't give you your cell and the guards don't come on range. They're scared to come on the range there. So you kind of want to learn about that. You got to go watch the video on that because I'm not going to be explaining any of that today. Today I'm just going to be straight explaining what my day-to-day was like there. Once I was set and comfortable in my ways and once I had a routine established and stuff like that. Okay, so basically I was on 3C North backside, which is the more dangerous side because you can't be seen back there, and the guards only come do a walk every once in a blue moon, so you won't be seen back there at all. So it's real dangerous back there. So anyways, once I woke up in the morning, what I would do is I would wake up, we would eat breakfast, right? And once we'd eat breakfast, we go out on the range to eat breakfast in the dawn. So we'd all be eating breakfast. I would be doing my trades and stuff like that, getting my coffee and all that. In the dawn, you have to go to the front of the range where they put the 3 big jugs of juice. So it's called morning juice. You want to have like a shampoo bottle most people use, or some kind of canteen bottle from Pop. Go fill it up with the morning juice. 2-3 bottles is max. The Mandem take 3 bottles, so I would take 3 bottles. Eventually you'll save up 3 bottles. A lot of times they don't even have bottles when you get there. You normally have just a little styrofoam cup when you first get there. They give you a little styrofoam cup with a little thing of shaving cream, a little thing of toothpaste, and a little black comb. I told you this before, and a little white spoon. That spoon you got to keep the whole time to eat with, the whole time you're there. And the shaving cream that they give you cuts you, and the toothpaste they give you is poison. It says on the back of it, do not swallow, it's poisonous. So that's just a little tip right there. Now, when you get in there, you're going to go in there. Basically, what I would do is I wake up in the morning, I would get my coffee ready, I do all that, get my morning juice, go put my 3 morning juices bottles in my cell. Then I would go like trade for coffees and stuff like that, eat my breakfast, go sit at my table with the Mandem, and basically just wake up and eat and do trades and stuff like that. And, morning juice is a big thing in there because you don't get bag juice there, so you can't keep your bag juice, so that's why you kind of have to just, that 1 jug comes right in the morning and that's it for your drinks all day, besides water, that nasty ass water there. So you kind of want to be in a rush to get that, but it comes first thing in the morning. And it's usually a lineup like crazy, and it kind of goes by seniority how long you've been on the range. This camera, I'm sorry about this camera, guys. This camera's friggin' pissing me off. It's so much BS. Moving around and everything every time I move my head. Okay, so then what happens is you're gonna come up to like basically after breakfast time now. So then I'm gonna go over with the homies. I'm gonna start politicking. We're gonna start rolling up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get going on my job that I do in the mornings, which is what I would do is to make extra money and stuff like that. I would roll up a wick for the guys, for a specific person that I was doing this for, that I was working for, one of my homies. Um, I won't name his name specifically, but just me and him we were really tight because I had been in Maplehurst with him quite a few times, and he just became my homie over the years of doing time together all the time in Maplehurst and a few other places. So after being here in this one place for quite a few months, I ended up doing a morning routine with this guy where he used to bun it down at the back a lot, and he didn't like wasting his flicker, so he asked me if I could get this thing going at the beginning in the mornings where I would take because every fourth cell had a TV. Not every cell has a TV, so no, every 5, 10, 15, 20, yeah, 4, 8, 12, 16. So there's 18 cells in a long corridor, a long strip going straight down a long corridor. So like cells all along a one wall on one side, tables on another, and then TVs along the other. So there's 4 TVs. Anyways, one of them was my TV because my cell is directly in front of that TV. So they call it a TV cell or a quarter-man cell. So then I would get that one and I get the remote. So I would control that one. So what happens is you got to use those batteries right there to use the positive and negative on a metal table to go up with a piece of staple on there and stickers, and so then the stickers stick the staples on there, and then you get a piece of rubber so it doesn't burn you, and then you go like this on the positive and negative, and you kind of make it into like a little toaster and touch it like that, and it gets red hot and it turns into like a little toaster spoke, and it turns red hot, and then you can light stuff off of it, and all the guys get their lights. And what I would do is light the wick for them at the beginning in the morning, go put it in the shower, up at the shower, and I would make it long enough where this long is about an hour. So when you pull it down, the bricks were about that big. So when you pull it down an hour, and then that would be about that long. So then when I would go stick it in the vent for the day, I knew exactly how long it had to be, like basically like 6 feet or 8 feet, and I'd have like 3 of those for the day. And I'd go stick it way up in there, and then every like hour or so I'd go up and pull it down another 2 bricks, and then it would constantly just run all day, so anyone can just go up and use it instead of having to waste theirs or bug anybody, right? So that's how that, and I used to get paid really good for that too. Actually, I would get paid a lot for that. It's like crazy the amount that I got paid for just to do that little job, where a lot of people didn't know how to do that. They didn't really know how to get it going, for one. For two, they can't do it fast enough. That's the problem. If they do know how to do it, they can't do it fast enough, and it just creates like situation you don't need, you know. So that's why I think I was the best person for that, because I would just do it fast. It only take me like a minute, right? And then $50 for a minute, that's pretty good money. Every morning though, it's not like I'm sitting there doing it a million times a day. It's just basically if it goes out, it's on you. So you're gonna have to do it a million times a day if it keeps going out. So you're gonna want it to keep going all day, because the gangs are gonna want it to keep going. If you don't, you're gonna be pissed off, and they're paying you, right? So $50 in there is a lot, because $60 a canteen a week is all you're allowed to order for groceries, right? So with $60 canteen a week and it's making $50 every morning, I had my canteen at least paid for every week, right? And then I could still pay for like stuff on the outside for my family and stuff, um, because I didn't use my money from the outside. I didn't use any money, right? I would just have my canteen every week, and then money on the outside would just stay on the outside. I didn't bring my money from the outside in to the Don jail, you know what I mean? I just basically kept the money that I had on me when I was in there, and just went with that to order my food and canteen and stuff, and shampoo and hygiene and all that, right? So that's basically what I would do until about breakfast. So right after breakfast, that's what we would do, and everyone would go back and take turns going to the very back of the range, into the shower part. Different sets would go back there, different gangs and stuff would go back there. Whatever set they were with, whatever gang they were rolling with, they go back there in a little group and go bun it down, and then I'd be waiting until it's my turn. Sometimes we go first, or sometimes we go after. It's just a mutual respect thing. Whoever's gonna go first or second, you just wait, and then after that, I guess the third and then fourth people go, and then all these little rodents start scouring in afterwards, trying to get in on it. But so that's how that works. And then it's about time to come back, sit down at the table, start politicking a little bit more, start basically we all go sit down at our table at the back, and then just sit there and talking and relaxing and stuff. Got the coffee going, maybe some morning juice, and maybe sit there and have a game of bid whiz or looty or poker until probably lunch, and then okay, so let's see where we are. Politicking, rolling up, bathroom, the shower. Yeah, lunch, after lunch you play poker, gamble. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would gamble, play bid whiz, play poker, looty, and dudes stay. I would stay away from bridge because I seen dudes in the pen, where I had friends of mine from the pen tell me about guys and they're playing bridge and the partner not getting all his tricks, and then the other partner killing him for it or trying to stab him in the neck for it, because he overbid his hand and said he had X amount of tricks when he didn't have that many tricks. You don't want to do that to your partner. Even in bidwiz, when you're gambling, don't be overbidding your hand. If you don't know how to play, just say you don't know how to play. Don't act like you're some good player, and then the guy thinks you're a good player, and then he starts gambling, and then he starts losing all his money. You don't want that to happen, because guys get pissed off. But just acknowledge, if you don't know how to play, you don't know how to play, okay? If you do know how to play and you're a dump truck, that's on you. Okay, it's just a joke. It's a joke thing. From if no one knows what that is and you're on the streets, it's just a joke thing between guys in there that if they think they're a crappy player at Bidwiz or whatever, they'll say they're a dump truck. You're trucking me, basically. Yo, man, you tell your partner you're trucking me, man. What the hell are you doing? Okay, and then so then around lunch you go around and I do my trades for people. I do my eating, get my eating finish my meals, give like all my little extras, get all my little extras and stuff like that, all my little trades. I give away all my little stuff I want to give away. Do all my little collection, go around do all the little collection of what everyone owes me and stuff, and then I would go. Um, Okay. Then it was okay. So then after I would do all that, it would basically be time to, again, everyone would go pile into the back and everything like that. Everyone would go into the back in the showers and then go do that and hang out, politic until dinner. We're going to see who's coming in, who's got what, any new people coming in, who's doing what on the range, who's politicking with who, who's gambling with who. Maybe go check on the rich Indian guys, Shankar and Mr. Singh. I would go check on them, make sure they're okay. These millionaire guys that were in there for just tax evasion, they were really, really old. So I would look out for them, go make sure they're okay and everything. So, because they're getting extorted real bad, till I got there. and then they kind of got extorted less because I kind of got them to pay me for protection. So, but it wasn't like that. It was like they were getting extorted real bad, and then those guys left. So then I said, okay, I'll make sure that don't happen again. But then I said, all you got to do is just buy like a $60 canteen bag for the range and give it out to the guys that don't have it. So that was a pretty good thing on my part. And then they would make like this thing on the range. Never mind, I don't want to talk about that because I'm going to actually make that on a food thing, and I don't want to give that away. I almost let that slip, but okay, so if anyone knows what it is, don't be talking about it because I'm going to be making that on here soon. Alright? Okay, so then basically that's what we would do. We would go on the phone. Then I would like go on the phone if I had a girlfriend or a girl. I would go on the phone, talk to her. But in the dawn, I didn't have a girlfriend, so I didn't really go on the phone much. I would just go on once in a blue moon, maybe to call my family. My dad or someone was still alive back then. Maybe my cousin Jay, he was alive back then too, or my cousin Amy, or my lawyer or something like that. Back then, my stupid lawyer was dump trucking me, telling me to plead guilty to everything under the creation. Oh, God. Okay, and then we would run it down and then politic with the rest of the homies, see who's doing what. You're always thinking how to make another few bucks, right? Not trying to empty our family's banks for my canteen $60 bag every week. So I gotta make $60 per week somehow. Gambling or, you know, stack chips or chops, or make a couple of chops, stack chips, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so you got to make some kind of canteen. You got to make that money somehow, right? And then, okay, so with what I said, I'm gonna just read the rest of this because I don't want to hold the video up a million minutes. So plus I make that per day easy with what I got's going on with my homies that I done hella time with was here and there. So then me and him had done a lot of time together. So we had great things going on in the dawn. Every morning, I told you guys about that already. So it wasn't just every morning either. It was every morning he'd give me a boot bop, he called it, which was a half a gram of weed, and then a cigarette, which was $10 and $50. And then the other thing at night, he would give me the exact same thing again. So it was like $120 basically a day. But he didn't look at it that way because that was just pure profit for him. To him, it was just, he called it a boot bop. To him, it was just a little boot bop. But to everybody else that he's like dealing with or whatever, chopping to, they're paying the prices like $100 for a gram of weed back then because everything's 10 times the amount or 5 times the amount. Right? Even a cigarette's $10 for one cigarette. Okay, so you gotta imagine that. Just $10 for one cigarette. Think about it. So they break it in 3 and sell each little piece for $10. Yeah, like I mean, a cigarette fucking is $10, man. They can break that into 3 and sell it for 30. Like it's crazy. Anyway, so then I would go around and basically gamble some more, right? In the afternoon after lunch and all that, I'd be gambling some more, hanging out with the homies, running it down some more. Then I would go check out my boys Slab and 40 in them, and maybe freestyle a little bit. We would go over in a corner and we'd check out what's going on because Fridays would be Friday night fight nights, and then Fridays are also Friday night freestyle nights. Okay, so you got Freestyle Friday, and then you, like BET used to have back in the day, Freestyle Friday, and then you got Friday Night Fight Night, right? So you don't want your name to get put in the fight night bag and then pick it out, and then get picked out on the freestyle too, because then you might end up with 2 fades that night because the guy you're freestyling against, you might end up fading. You know what I mean? So anyway, so what happens is I go over and I talk to this guy. 40, there was a guy named on the range named 40. He thought he was the best rapper on the range. He thought he was this huge rapper, gonna have this huge successful career. Yeah, you remember me, eh, 40? Yeah. So, this guy 40, they always used to tell me, yo, go battle 40, go freestyle battle 40. Go get my keys to freestyle battle 40. Back then they didn't call me that, they just called me Eddie. Right? Some of them would call me Fast Eddie. right? Because of Eddie Stone, and my name's Eddie and shit like that, so they just, I don't know, set my name. So they call me that, and because my real name's Mickey. You don't go by your real name, no matter what. So a lot of the COs will try to call you by your last name, but a lot of guys hate that, and I don't like it either. Um, so this guy 40, he thought he was this huge rapper. Anyways, long story short, he had a head shaped like a pear. Anyway, he used to always try to just like win the freestyle battle, talking crap about my skin color, saying because I'm white and this and that, and basically rhyming and saying that I can't rhyme because I'm white and this and that. So he'd basically just try to pull out the race card, okay? So then, anyway, one time I ended up getting the crowd turned over, and I won one night. I won the battle that I actually freestyled one night. I actually went hard at him, and I remember saying something like, yeah, 40, you used to be 50, what happened, 40, you used to be 50 cent until you started dropping dimes. I remember that specific punchline saying, hey, yo, 40, why isn't your name 50? You started dropping dimes? Or something like that, right? And then something about your best friend in the police station, or something like that. It was a really sick freestyle anyways. I won the freestyle battle. It was sick that time. And then after that, everyone used to always call me when I'd be asleep in my cell. My homie Snoop, my cellie, would wake me up. Yo, 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 the man them, they want you to rap. Yo, they want you to rap. And that's when I started singing Pretty Girl. And they loved Pretty Girl. When you see a pretty gal and you want to know her name, sure, surprising, take her to her place. Downtown, downtown, east and west, and make her your best friend. Right? And they used to go nuts on that about when you see a pretty gal and you want to know her name, sure, because of the way I would sing it, they loved it, right? And I would sing that throughout the bars, and the man them would like it. And I had a whole song back then, right? Now I kind of changed it more of a sexual song. Back then it was more of a locked up kind of song, like when you get out, you want to see a pretty gal, you know. And anyways, back to the story. So we'd be freestyling stuff like that to pass the time, and then you'd be Friday night fight nights. You know, I told you about many of those. You can go check out some of my fight videos, some of my, well, not my fight videos, but my stories that I tell about the battles and the wars that I was in the dawn, fist to fist. You know, in the back there, the Friday night fight night in the paint. You know what I'm saying? So you can go check out some of that, of these different kind of fighters that I fought. One guy was like a real scratchety kind of weird, kind of hard, kind of like to fight like a cat, and another guy was like more like a monkey. So I was fighting kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. Reminded me of the movie Bloodsport, where he has fights all kinds of different enemies and stuff. Nah, just joking. But like for real, that 4 fade back to back with the freaking 5 PG crit, that was a big one there. That was a big win for me. You know, even though I was still standing at the end, and the last homie there I fought would have his head burnt off. That homie was still standing at the end, and they were kind of both 5PG Crips were kind of holding me up, and they were kind of holding him up and trying to get us to throw punches at each other, but I couldn't even hold my arms up anymore because they were so heavy, and same with him. I couldn't even hold my arms up to protect myself. That's how freaking my arms were from 4 fades, man. This was going on for a long time. You know, people see a fight, it's like a 3-minute fight. They think that's freaking not long, but it's forever for the people fighting. Well, imagine 4 fades. You know, everybody else is already out and gone on to the next guy. You know what I'm saying? On to the next one, on to the next one. And then the last one was the biggest guy. So there's just, you know, you got to go hear it on the video. Go check that video out. I got a playlist of a bunch of different times that I've been in scuffles or been jumped or beaten. I've actually told the truth about it many times that I've got beaten or jumped or whatever. And there's plenty more stories to come. I've been beaten and jumped a lot more than that in my life. I got lots more stories to come. Lots of them more in jail, lots on the streets. Got lots of more stories. So it's probably over a fucking 100 fades at least. Maybe not exaggeration. Maybe since a kid, I'd say at least over 50. Gotta be 100%. Gotta be over 50. Between 50 and 100 for sure. Because when I was a kid, I had to get at least 30 of those in high school, at least, maybe more. Maybe half those just in high school alone, period. Every weekend, every night, we were going out looking for our next one. Me and my crew, we go looking for it. You know. go to another party where another friggin' high school is, another crew of guys. Oh, they're not from our area. Oh, they got girls. Oh, we want their girls to come to our parties. So they're gonna get our girls to go to their parties. Now we're gonna go beat them up for taking our females to their parties, and then we want their females to come to our parties, and then it goes like that. They come to our parties, try to squabble us. We go to their parties, squabble them. You know, then we all end up running outside in the park and whatever, going at it. Back then it was fist fights, bro. You know, once in a while someone would bring a weapon or a bat or whatever. Someone would bring a weapon and hit him with a bat. You know, and if somebody did bring a gun, they would shoot a shot in the air and everyone would run. You know, someone might start firing at each other. Odd time, anyone would rarely get hit. You know what I'm saying? And when they did get hit, you know, it's usually in the hip or the leg. It wasn't usually a kill shot. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, these 13, 14-year-old kids are just killing each other left and right. It's just, you know, I wasn't really out to kill nobody. I was always out to protect myself, protect my family, protect my crew, make my money, do my thing. You know, I was more of a money guy. I was more into it for the money thing because I had to, because of poverty growing up, being poor and wanting things and getting out there and wanting to be rich, seeing these rich guys on the streets and wanting to be like them and seeing the big huge gold chains on the rappers and driving the nice Cadillacs and stuff like that, you know, made me want to be like that. Anyways, so basically after the freestyle and all that, we'd all get draw 40. Hey, you 40, what happened? Used to be 50 till you started dropping dimes. So then we go politic and eat. Go eat dinner on the range with the homies. Everyone would get locked up around 7:30. It's called Lockup for cleanup at the dawn. All the doors would shake, and crack open. And then friggin' everybody would get locked up for cleanup, it's called, except for the quartermans on the range, which is like between 1 and 4. Usually I told you in every other jail I've been in, it's 2 servers. Well, in the Dawn jail is the only one I've been in where it had 4. And they're not called servers, they're called quartermans. So 4 quartermans, and a lot of times the 4 quartermans would each have a celly, so that's 8, right? So because the cellies, the quarterman cells would stay open, and what they would do is they would just, instead of having 2 quarterman in one cell, they would make it so all 4 TV cells had quartermans in it. So 2, 4, 6, 8. I was in cell 16 with Snoop, which was a quarterman cell, which is how I had the remote that I was speaking on earlier, which how I could do the battery thing. Also how I could see my TV from the bottom bunk. And yeah, basically, so me and Snoop didn't really like to stay out too much. Snoop was a lot younger than me at the time, by like 4 or 5 years, so he looked to me like a senior. He kind of looked up to me. He was on the top bunk. He was just a young kid. He wasn't a gang member. He was just he was a cool kid, homie. You know what I'm saying? He was cool with the homies and shit. But he wasn't into much of like gambling and stuff like that. He was kind of like just more into doing his own thing on the range, and that's what I liked. I liked it because he stayed out of the politics, but he was respected by the gangs. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a young kid. He was representing INSTRAMENT. He called himself INSTRAMENT because he was trying to be like his father, trying to grow out the little dreads. So he had little ones growing about that long, little tiny dreads. He was just starting to try to grow them. He's just starting to do the little green jar with the orange stuff, right, that he used, and then he would use the other products. So anyways, that was my boy Snoop. We were cellies for friggin' over a year. We were like that, you know what I'm saying? Still to this day, I'd always got that kid's back no matter what. He had my back for over a year. I had his. Remember when a bunch of guys came up and said, "Yo, why are you having Eddie in your cell? Get a black guy in your cell right now. We want a black guy in cell 16." And then he said, "Nah, this is Eddie's cell. For 1, for 2, I don't want no black guy in my cell." He says, he goes, I don't want no black guy in my cell. He goes, "Eddie's clean." He goes, "I like being in the cell with Eddie." He goes, his hygiene, his real clean. He's a clean dude. You know, and he goes, "A lot of black guys don't keep clean." No offense, I'm not saying it. It wasn't from my mouth. Don't be mad at me. Don't even quote me on that because I never said it. And I don't think that way. This is just what Snoop said, why he didn't want to be in a cell with another black guy. he was black himself. So the thing is, I never understood that. That was between them. I just mind my own business and keep it pushing. Anyways, I'm sure everybody's to each their own. You know what I'm saying? There's white guys that are freaking bums and homeless crackheads that stink and don't look fly, and I'm sure there's black guys like that too, and then black guys that are drippy and fly rappers, and white guys that are drippy and fly. So it's like that in every race. It's just like there's good people in every race and bad people in every race. There's good guys and bad guys in everywhere you go. It doesn't matter of your skin color. That's what some people don't understand. I don't look at anybody at their skin color. I look at them as their brain and what they have to offer and stuff like that, and how their personality is. That's what I go for. Even when I go for a female, I don't even go after the looks. I go after the personality. You know what I mean? Okay? So anyway, that's pretty much almost it. We're going to wrap this up. So for the night now, after dinner, after I'm done eating, so we lock it all down. It's lock up for cleanup. Yes, I would stay out. I was a quarterman's in the dawn after a while. After about 5 months, I started staying out. Okay? This is when everyone is locking up for cleanup till about 8:30 is when I go in and rest for the night. The gang stays out for lockup for cleanup for the night, and what we start cleaning is like the showers in the back, the toilets, which I would never ever do. We had a shower scrub brush that I did do the walls sometimes in the shower scrub brush, never the toilets though, but I would mostly do the tables and the mop, or I would sweep. So we had to do the toilets, the showers clean the toilets, clean the showers, scrub that, scrub the toilets, scrub the phones with disinfectant, scrub the tables down with disinfectant, and then someone would sweep and a guy would come behind and mop. And then after all that was done, COs would come and hand in a big tray full of jug up, right? And then the jug up would be handed out by the gangs. Basically, got to fight to get that jug up. Basically, gang gonna just toss that in the cell and give it out to whoever they please. Okay, so if you want it, a lot of times guys don't even know about it if they're new, because a lot of places don't even give it out. It's the only place I've ever seen that does give out something at that time of night before bed. And so they hand out the jug up. Basically got to fight to get that. I had to fight to get mine a few times when the ranges flipped over to somebody else running the range that didn't know me. I might have to fight for it again. You never know. It happened a few times, right? And then I've seen them go where they go down halfway down the range to like from cell, say they don't do cell 1. They start at like cell 2 and then they go down to like cell 11 and then turn back around and then just hand me mine because I'm already out there cleaning. Right? So they'll hand me mine or I'll just grab mine actually. That's 90% of the time. As soon as the thing came in and I'm out there cleaning or sweeping, I would just grab mine. But before I started staying out for lockup for cleanup, I had the guys come in where they would go down halfway to 10 or 11 and turn around, and then one of the gang members would specifically bring mine over to me, specifically for me, and this other guy with the teardrops in the cell next to me. So they would come and give it to 2 of us down there. And my cellie Snoop, that when he came in my cell, eventually they started giving it to Snoop as well, because they respected Snoop. But there was a lot of guys on there that didn't get jug up, just put it that way. And there's a lot of guys there that didn't even care about the jug up, didn't try to get the jug up. To me, it's not about the cake or the jug up. To me, it's about the respect thing. Like, if they take your jug up, you let them take that. Next thing you know, it's going to be your chicken off your plate. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, it's going to be your hamburger. Like, next thing you know, it's going to be your freaking Judy cakes. Next thing you know, they're going to hand you a freaking shank and say, here, can you hold this in the next search? And they're talking like holding it, holding it, you know? So, you got to really be careful about what you're getting yourself involved in. So, yeah, basically, you still got to squabble to get all your food in the Don jail. I went through a lot to make it to that position. It wasn't just handed to me overnight. Like I said, the time I'm speaking on right now to you guys is about 5 months in on the same range. Never leaving that range in the same cell. Well, no, when you first go into a range, you go in cell 18, but that's all a different thing. I moved out of cell 18 the very next morning. It was disgusting. I will never sleep in that cell ever again. But I had never been in the Don jail before, so I guess if it's your first time in the Don, you don't know about it. Oh God. But anyway. So yeah, so that's it, and that's how my programming was in the Don. And then I would go in, talk to Snoop for about 10 minutes, whatever, draw a little bit, whatever. And that's about it. Maybe eat a bit of canteen, and then go to sleep. Make one of my ghetto burritos, like my famous ghetto burritos. Eat one of my ramens or my Mr. Noodles, and my Doritos. Make a ghetto Dorito sandwich, basically, and that's what I would do. And that's my programming in the Dawn. Alright, peace. Love all you guys. Sorry that it ran so long.